Significant severe weather is on the way for the upper Midwest, the plains, and the East Coast in the next couple days, along with heavy snow, blizzard conditions in the northern tier of the U.S. Potentially some snow down here on the backside of the system as well. And in this portion of the forecast, I'm going to just talk about the severe weather, and then I'm going to make another video just based on the wind and weather threat. So first, we'll get started with the severe weather outlook for the next few days. So here's a severe weather outlook for Sunday into Monday, right? This is the first day, which is today. I just changed the general thunderstorms, right? But here's the tomorrow. See how large an area we have here with an enhanced risk, surrounded by slight risk, surrounded by marginal risk. It encompasses a good portion of the eastern U.S., with the exception of the northern tier, right? And then moving into Monday, this threat moves to the east, northeast here with a large enhanced risk going all the way up to central Pennsylvania down to South Carolina. Slight risk surrounding it all the way going up to northern Pennsylvania into parts of the Florida Panhandle, and a larger marginal risk going all the way to central Florida and all the way up to the Great Lakes up here, right? So quite impactful weather here in the next couple days. All right, so let's break this down real quick. Tornado risk pretty much encompasses most of the marginal threat area here. If we go back to the categorical, with the exception of Florida here and some other points to the east, right? Tornado risk is highest here, going from Shreveport all the way to Lafayette, Indiana, to portions of Tennessee, and towards Farmington, Missouri here in the Brown area, which is only 5%, right? Only meaning 5% risk of a EF2 up to a EF2 tornado in that area. And then you have a larger 2% risk here of a strong tornado anywhere in the green, right? So see the hashing here, the stippled region, I guess you would call it. That indicates this a SIG, which is the Storm Prediction Center uses to delineate severity of tornadoes, right? So a SIG 1 is up to EF2 reasonable, okay? So that's a tornado risk. Now, the biggest risk with this storm, at least with this tomorrow into Monday morning, early Monday morning, is wind, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they up this to a SIG 2, but we'll see. Anyway, it really doesn't matter at this point, to be honest with you, because 75-mile-per-hour winds, hurricane winds, wind force gusts are possible anywhere in the stippled region here, with the highest likelihood in this magenta region, generally centered from parts of Arkansas all the way up to Bloomington, Indiana, and back to Jackson, Missouri, parts of Tennessee here as well. So anywhere within this stippled region, you could have severe winds. Anywhere outside of that, you could still have 50 knot wind gusts. Okay. And of course, the likelihood of these gusts decreases as you get further away from this center point here. So you can see where we're at here with that. Hail is probably the least likely risk with this. Pretty much on the western side of the system here, with marginal risk, 5% hail risk up into towards Chicago here, parts of Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois, and parts of Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. So of all the three threats, the hail risk is the least impactful, I think, with this system. So moving into Monday, we're just going to review this real quick. The stippled region indicates possibility of severe, significant, up to SIG 1, anywhere in the, pretty much encompassing most of the slight risk here. So with the highest risk here in the, I guess you would call it the orange region. So that's a 30% any severe risk, conditional intensity group 1. Most likely wind and tornado will be the biggest risks here. Okay. So, but again, severe weather is possible anywhere within this region as we go into Monday. Okay. So let's be mindful of that. So just to review, the current conditions are showing some snow up here in the northeast, mid parts of mid-Atlantic and the upper Midwest here. With that overrunning snow already starting as part of the system's going to develop in the next couple days here, from Montana, South Dakota, Iowa, some mixed precip here in Illinois, and back towards Oregon. So what's the synoptic setup of this system? I mean, this morning we don't even see really it on the map, other than right up to the north here. You see this little depression in the flow here. You have some energy down here in Texas as well, but that's not really a player in this. Okay, generally west-east flow right now, right? Um, Pretty much straight through. Okay, this system ejects into the northern part of the U.S. here, is starting to dig already, and you have some defluence on the east side of this. Okay, that you see a short wave move through the flow up here. Okay, the trough digs, becomes negatively tilted here. Okay, very strong deep trough all the way down into the southern part of the country here. And you may have a short wave or two developing off the coast here, and some enhanced flow just to the south of this, and it short waves rotating through it. Okay, very intense winds within this storm as it moves to the east. Swings a cold front to the east, and this is where the run ends, and it moves offshore. By this time, most of the significant weather has moved offshore, right? If you look at the radar real quickly here, you see the line of storms that moved offshore here. On the backside, you have some snow pushing through the upper Midwest here, northern high plains, and backside snow here into the mid-Atlantic. Now, going back to the radar, pretty impressive, right? So let's go back to about 8 p.m. today. System takes shape. Low pressure developed on the east side of the Rockies, surface low. We'll talk about the snowfall on a different video, right? Backside snow here. Storms developing on the eastern side of this system, with some showers and storms already developing way in advance of this down into Georgia as well to Sunday afternoon. This isn't exactly how it's going to happen, guys. This is just a model depiction of it, right? So generally speaking, okay. Very intense line of storms already developing here, Sunday afternoon to evening. You can see what looks like embedded supercellular type structures here within the line, okay? All right, so this moves to the east. Very impressive line of storms, 11 p.m. on Sunday, 5 a.m. Monday. We already have storms firing up here in the northeast, maybe in the southeast, anywhere in the mid-Atlantic region here, okay? Backside snow, of course. And we really get cranking here with storms ahead of this line. Looks pretty messy setup here, but if we get embedded supercells within this line here, ahead of this line, well, we could have some trouble here along the eastern seaboard, and that's part of that severe risk. Getting to 8 p.m. On Monday, this is when the line moves through the eastern seaboard. Potential for some backside snow here all the way down into northern Georgia, Tennessee, West Virginia, and maybe some backside heavy snow here up into the mid-Atlantic, okay? As the system moves out, that's where we end up, right? So quite an impactful system here in the next few days, right? And so I'm going to review here next. Well, I got the 9Z running, still only 7 hours out, so I can't really show you that. I'm going to review some of the severe parameters next, and review some of the synoptic features with this. So dew point is an important player in the evolution of storms here, and you can see dew point is a measure of the moisture in the atmosphere, right? So when you have higher dew points, you have more likelihood of severe weather if other parameters are there for it, right? So you have 15, 60 degree dew points to start off with. This very dry air to the north, right? Normally you want about 60-degree dew points to have severe weather, right? So into Sunday, 3 a.m., moisture starts streaming north, but it's the 60-degree dew points are relegated down here into the southern part of the forecast area here. Although, given the kinematics, which is the wind energy in the atmosphere, these will likely be overcome some of these limitations based on that, right? So it's just one model depiction, okay? So we switch to like the impasse or something, showing roughly the same thing, okay? So going back to RFFSA, Rufus, dry air is sticking around up to the north here. You see the cold front pushing through very dry air behind it, but moisture is streaming to the north with 60 dew points along the eastern seaboard here as well in that severe highlighted area into Monday, right? And right along the eastern seaboard here as well, all the way up into New York. So if these dew points are reached, we could have a problem here, right? So some other parameters associated with this. The shear in the atmosphere, 0 to 1 kilometer shear, okay? Ahead of the line and behind it. See shear values Sunday to Monday, right? We have um, some pretty good shear right along the line, okay? Like, and this isn't really, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here. Values 18, 20 knots here. So, I don't know. Not that impressive, at least on this model. Normally you want about greater than 30 knots, but let's look at the bulk shear 0 to 6 kilometer. You can see the trough digging here. My goodness. Monday. Incredible shear values associated with this. Right to the east of it. My goodness. 100 knots here. And that's off the charts, right? Go back to the radar. Yeah. So anyway, where those shear values are reached, we got potentially winds being brought down on the surface, right? So wind gusts. Let's see if we can look at this here with a cold front right along east of it, right? It's really not showing those hurricane force wind gusts that well, but 40, 50 mile per hour, 70 miles per hour, right along the line here. We'll have to see how that plays out too, but I have a feeling this is somewhat underdone. Let's go to the GFS real quick, or the HRRR. Maybe it'll show something different here. HRRR is only 48 hours out. GFS, global model. I don't know if it shows the actual values. I wish it did. Anyway, the wind gusts are projected to be very high with the system as it moves through. Okay, so let's see here. See the southerly flow here on the east side. Okay, so we'll just have to see how this evolves. All right, so let's go back to the RFSSA and look at a few other parameters here. Supercell composite. This is where the greatest chance of supercells are. Okay, Sunday, going into Sunday, right? You have your parameter space here in the down to the south, 5 p.m. See how the supercell composite parameter values are highest in this general area here, okay? Even in the southeast, we got some values that are relatively high, right? That streams to the north. You have some more parameters in the southeast, right along the eastern seaboard that increase as well. You can see they move all the way up the eastern seaboard here, okay, as we get towards the end of this forecast cycle, right? So anywhere within this line ahead of it, along the line, there's potential for supercells as well, okay? Now, significant tornado parameters. See right along the east of this here, where this is low is developing, you have your greatest chance of significant tornadoes as well, okay? This moves to the east here. You see some maximized values here in the southeast again. All right, this is Monday morning, 6 a.m. So I have to be mindful of this and right along the line here as well. Okay, looks like the greatest values are along this line and in middle Georgia and pointing southward here, and some values up to the north, up into Philadelphia, all the way up into parts of New York State. Okay, you have that chance of significant tornadoes. Okay, hence the stippled region in these areas. Okay, so I'd like you to look at this real quick. This show updraft velocity. You see the oranges here. That is where you have your rotating storms in this line. Okay, so you see the rotating storms in the purple here, right? Even into parts of South Carolina and North Carolina as well. Rotating storms. Okay, and just offshore, maybe like a surface low, a weak surface low developing offshore here. These storms move to the north, right offshore. Okay, if they come on shore, we got problems, right? Then still showing a bunch of stuff offshore here, and maybe more storms redeveloping to the east. You see along this line, you have more updraft velocity, rotating storms here as well. Okay, and all along the eastern seaboard. So we got to be careful about that. I mean, that severe risk was pretty impressive here. So anyway, that's it for the severe risk discussion for today. In my next video, I'm going to talk about the wind and weather threat in the upcoming days. So as we head into this weekend, I want y'all to be safe out there. And please take a minute to like and subscribe to the video and share with your friends, and leave any comments or any other questions in the comments below. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good weekend. Be safe out there, and God bless.